So it's gone, poof, who cares? They don't matter. I knew I was pregnant from the moment we kissed goodnight. Do you celibate, or do you do things to help your needs? I don't even know. I just went on a rant. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Here I am, intro, holding a beer. Who am I? And like once or twice a year, I crave a very, very light beer. So I actually started filming a vlog this morning and I wasn't feeling it. Cindy and we didn't do anything interesting, and I was like, you know what should I film? I asked you guys on Instagram and I started getting like questions, and I was like, you know what, let's just do a Q&A. If you guys like these types of videos, give it a like and a thumbs up so that I know to film more of these. And I love doing these videos sporadically here and there so you guys can get to know me, and just so you can do story times and all of the above. So I have already read through some of the questions. There are definitely some juicy ones. A quick disclaimer, this video is not for children at all, and it's also not for my mom. So mom, if you're watching, you can just X out of this video. The first one says, do you have any siblings? I have one younger brother. He is 2 years and 10 months younger than me. He lives up where my mom does and is actually getting married this summer, so that's exciting. And then he has a daughter who is 10 years old, so I have one niece so far. This one says, if you could shop for free, what store would you choose? Target. basic mom answer. But seriously, the amount of money that I spend at Target is sickening, especially now that you can gauge how much you spend with the Circle app. Shop for free at Target any day of the week. What is your most embarrassing moment? Oh, good one. What is my most embarrassing moment? So something very embarrassing for me to handle is, because I don't like to do this and I don't do it, is like farting in front of someone. I find that mortifying. I think I have only farted in front of a boyfriend like, I don't know, twice ever, maybe once, and it was like obviously on accident. That's something that I'm always embarrassed by. I don't like doing it. What is the one, and she has one in capital letters, one trait you're looking for in your next relationship? Love you guys. One, you guys, I have several big ones. I would have to say trustworthiness. Because obviously, you know, I could say honest, loyal, reliable, faithful, but that all kind of trustworthiness, that like I need to trust that person. I need to trust that they're going to be there for me. I need to trust what they say is true. I need to trust how they're going to be with Sydney. And yeah, trustworthiness. I think that is going to be the major number one thing that I demand out of the next relationship. This is another good one. Someone is asking, do you have friends with benefits? No. No. Who are your top 5 favorite YouTubers? I barely watch YouTube now because I'm just so busy doing my own YouTube thing that I don't watch a ton. I used to watch so much. Tara Henderson, always. And it's a fun fact, you guys, about her. So I just discovered her a year ago, back when the YouTube moms did like a Vegas trip. That's where I basically discovered like all the YouTube moms. I had followed Erin Williams, and they went on that trip, and obviously I saw her video, and so I was like, oh, let me look up all the other moms, and then I started following all the other moms. And that is how I found Tara. And I remember messaging her one time saying, I don't know, it was like a DM on Instagram, and she's like, girl, I followed you since before I even started my YouTube channel ever. And I was like, you do? So Tara, Erin Williams, Tiffany Beeston, she just followed me on Instagram, and I'm like, so does Tara. And I don't know, when all these people, I feel like I'm just like this little girl from Maine who's like, I don't know, like, it's just, I'm like a fangirl because I don't know. I need to start putting myself in the category of bigger, things because I know I can get there, but I'm just always, I guess I'm humble. I guess I'm just very much like, love Caitlin Nyer. She's like always been an awesome like friend here on in this community. Oh, Jordan Cheyenne. That's another one. That's definitely a big one. She's a single mom. She does like Boss Babe series where she teaches all about like YouTube and how to like gain subscribers and algorithm and just money. And she's like, I love watching her for some big motivation. Someone says, does Sydney's father pay child support or help financially? Yes, he helps financially. So it's just currently just out of free will. So there is that. I'm very grateful and thankful for every penny that I, do receive, because every penny helps so much. So what is Sydney's favorite food? Sydney's favorite food. All of the food is Sydney's favorite food. Like strawberries, grapes. She always says grapes for some reason. Whenever we talk about like doing the toddler interviews, I ask her what her favorite food is and she's always saying grapes. What are some foods that Sydney won't eat? Laugh out loud with a bunch of laughing faces, because everyone knows Sydney loves food. She is starting to become more choosy with her foods. Like if she's just not in the mood or whatever, then she will decide how much she eats. She definitely doesn't live to eat anymore. When she was 1.5, all the way up until 2, she is 8 and 8 and 8, and now she's definitely eating like a bird, kind of. Even if it's even if it's like mac and cheese, she will eat it, but she'll just stop instead of asking for 12 plates of it. So I don't know, she doesn't eat as much anymore. But what is something that she won't eat? Guys, I don't even know if I have that answer for you. A bunch of people asked if we planned on getting a pet. So here's a weird thing. I have never been a huge like pet person. I grew up and I've had a cat. The responsibility of having another like an animal, a dog or something, and I've got to take out and just take care of and worry about if I'm leaving the house and things like that is just, it's too much for me right now, just quite frankly. And with my house, it's not big and I just feel, and I don't have a yard, so definitely not while we are here. If I get a bigger house, maybe down the road, or if my significant other has a pet or wants a dog or something, we will cross that bridge when it comes. But honestly, right now, I'm not going to, not in this house. Have I ever thought about getting back with Sydney's dad? Absolutely not. I had to throw in the hand clapping, when you're like texting someone and you're like, honey. Absolutely not. That would be the worst decision I could ever make, ever. It would be like throwing myself in a black hole and closing the lid. Like, no, it would be absolutely horrible for both Sydney and I. Never. I think the reason why I say that is because it was so toxic and it was so bad. I lived in a constant state of anxiety, like sickening anxiety, fighting, and just toxic horribleness. It was so bad, you guys. And I don't know if I'll ever open up about it, only because I need to respect the fact that that's my child's daughter. And, I also have respect for human beings for being human beings. So any tips for other moms trying to make YouTube a career? So I get asked all the time, you guys, about tips on beginning YouTubers. My advice is do it for fun. Don't do it looking for money, because if you do it looking for money, I almost guarantee you're gonna give up before you ever take off, because it takes a lot of effort, a lot of time. I spend so much time. I mean, hello, this is my full-time job. I spend so much time working, way more hours working on YouTube and Instagram versus my other job. In the beginning, you're working your butt off, but not getting paid. So there's my 2 cents. Don't do it for the money. If you want to do the YouTube thing and you want to make a channel for fun to help people, or you have like a niche that you want to go into, awesome, do it. Just put yourself out there and do it. But if you're doing it for the money, you might want to quit. I'm not saying to quit. I'm saying it might be discouraging is what I'm saying. A couple people asked, have you seen Patrick Dempsey again? And someone said, have you seen McDreamy again? No, I haven't. Although I will say, I remember exactly when he was at Hannaford. It was a Tuesday, like morning-ish, mid-afternoon, like 11 a.m. So I'm gonna have to hit up some Hannaford. I'm gonna have to hit up my grocery store on that day again. It was very empty, so he probably goes there. He also lives in California, like hello, but no, I have not. Maybe this summer I will again. Who is your celebrity crush? I don't know if it's not McDreamy. I don't know if I have one anymore, but the biggest celebrity crush, besides like Justin Timberlake back in high school, middle school days, was, yeah, he's my biggest crush and I can't even think of his name. Channing Tatum. Oh, heartthrob, Channing Tatum. Oh, yes. Yep. I'm gonna have dreams tonight. Anyway, he is something else. Is it true that it costs around $10,000 to give birth in the US? Yeah, pretty accurate. Maybe even more, because I'm pretty sure I was 10 grand in debt after I had her, and that's after insurance, so it's probably more than that, but yeah. What time do you wake up and go to bed? So I go to bed really late at night because I'm usually working and editing, and then I try to, I don't try, but I need to like unwind. So I usually don't go to bed until midnight, and I don't want to do that. I want to be in bed at 10 p.m. That would be my perfect ideal, and then wake up early, but I'm the opposite. I've always been a night owl. I've always worked waitressing job since I was 18 years old and working till midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. So I've always been a night person and not a morning person. I wake up usually, I'm trying so hard to wake up before Sydney, but I usually wake up with Sydney, and it's around 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning on a typical morning, and I go to bed at midnight. This might be too personal. Do you miss being with Sydney's dad ever? I already touched on that. No, not at all. What are you most proud of yourself for? I think I'm most proud of myself right now for just being okay with being by myself and being the person I am on camera. You guys, putting yourself on YouTube and on camera in front of thousands of people to judge you is very daunting. Very daunting. I remember I used to get anxious and nervous when I would upload videos. I didn't want people I know to see them or to know that I did them. And I was nervous that like I was gonna get trolls all of a sudden, like instantly, and people were gonna judge me for what I said, how I looked. And yeah, that does happen and did happen a lot, but now it doesn't, and I'm sure it will, but it doesn't even bother me at all. And I've overcome that because I'm such an insecure person naturally, or always was. And now I'm sure it comes with age and just time, putting myself out there, and the fact that I'm raising my daughter, I own my own home, I like am a successful, happy person, and I feel like I'm a good person. You know, I feel like I am. Yeah, the confidence comes, and I'm just proud. I'm just proud of where I've come from, this shy, insecure person, constantly wanting to feel pretty and be beautiful and get the likes and the back on the day, like, and get worried about my weight and what I looked like, and constantly dieting, and worried about someone making a comment about something I'm insecure about. And I'm just mostly proud of where I've come as a woman. I've grown, I'm mature, I'm strong, I'm independent, I'm confident. Look at me. That's what I want Sydney to be proud of too, and I want Sydney to be like that. I want Sydney to be confident. I want her to be proud and strong and just independent. How are things with Sydney's dad? Roller coaster. It's always up and down. You never know. We don't really get along the greatest. We really don't. I'm just being honest. So yeah, we just don't. It's always, there's tension. I want to, and I want to be able to just like shut that off, but there's tension there. There's always like critique and judgment and nasty harshness. I've also gotten a bunch of questions asking about discipline and how I deal with disciplining and toddler tantrums and whatnot. You guys, man, this age is hard. Sydney is entering a very, very tough phase. I'm hoping it's a phase. She's throwing things. Today she was eating out of a bowl. We were sharing chips and spinach dip, okay, and that was all gone, so I gave her crackers and I put it in the bowl, like the glass ceramic bowl, and she was eating the crackers, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she just started throwing the crackers on the floor. And I was walking from the kitchen to the living room where she was, and I was like walking to go get the bowl from her because I knew I was next, and before I could get to her, she chucked the bowl and just, it shattered everywhere, and she laughs about it and then runs away and hides because she knows she shouldn't do that. And I'm like, what is happening? I swear by this book. It's by my bed. I really don't want to go over there and get it, but No Bad Kids by Janet Lansbury. I read it very often. I swear by that book. It is changing my relationship with Sydney. It is changing me as a parent. I am trying to be calm. I'm trying to just come down to her level and not say no and don't all the time. And we haven't done a timeout since I've started reading that book because I'm trying to tackle other ways to get through to her. And just be calm and let her know that her feelings are heard. And there's just, I don't know, it's just changed my life as far as toddlerhood goes. I totally recommend that book. I will link it down below. It's on Amazon, and it's life-changing for me, at least. How much time do you actively play with Sydney? How much time does she play by herself? On a typical morning, I spend the mornings with her reading books, playing in her playroom, like before I do anything. And then probably about an hour, at least an hour of that. And then I'll like go about my day and do those things. And then we'll go outside in the middle of the day. So I don't know, I would say a couple hours a day, 3 hours a day is probably one-on-one like playing time. Otherwise she's playing independently, or we're going to run errands and we're cleaning the house. Like I'm cleaning the house, we're listening to music while she plays independently. So I don't know, I would say like 3 hours. Is that bad? I don't know, she's not awake that long. Someone's asking, do you see yourself doing YouTube videos long term? I think I got another question asking about what I'm gonna do when Sydney goes to school. Am I gonna get a part-time job or something? So, and then someone else even asked, like, what do you do for your full-time job as a stay-at-home mom? I'm a full-time YouTuber. I make money both on Instagram and YouTube. This is my job. When Sydney goes to school, am I getting a part-time job? Nope, but it's like a year, 2 years down the road. So who knows where I will be then, but no, that is not my plan. I want to be my own boss always. I just do not like authority. I've never been good at listening to a boss telling, like making money for someone else. I just don't want to sell and upsell and make someone else money. I want to make my own money and I want to do my own thing. Yes, with sponsorships. I am helping another company make money, yes. But I am also my own boss. I can say yes or no to those things. I don't have to, I can make my own schedule. I can make my own routine. I get to stay at home and be a mommy to my daughter in those precious years that I'll never get back. She's gonna be in school for at least 13 more years. So you know what I mean? Like, I'm just so grateful that I get to do this. So I'm going to work it for every moment that I can. I have no plans on stopping at all because I love what I do. I genuinely love talking to you guys and connecting to you guys and making videos and just talking on Instagram stories every day, all the time. I just genuinely love what I do. But am I adding more to my plate to secure like income and finances? Yes, absolutely. Do I plan on like owning my own business or making something that I can make money off of? Yeah, 100%. You know, there are going to be avenues and branches that open up and opportunities and things. So it won't just be YouTube. It won't just be Instagram. It will be, you know, many more things. And I'm really excited. I've just started working on a project, and I don't know timeline. I need to set a timeline. Maybe like a few months that will be available to you guys. So I'm really excited to do that. I don't know, you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, but a lot of people are asking me, how do you find being a single mom and getting lonely? You guys, I rarely ever get lonely, and I think that comes with my confidence and just being okay with who I am and my life and where we're at, and just being fulfilled that way. And I think it's so important to get there at some point in your life independently. If you're fulfilled in your heart and your like life, then you are not going to feel like you need a significant other to complete you or to you know what I mean, like you're going to be able to offer your whole self and your best self to them instead of needing them because you feel lonely or you need them to feel right. I don't know. That doesn't mean that I don't have moments where I don't know. I can't even say I don't even have moments where I'm like, oh, I really want a man, or I really want someone. Or maybe you're not even talking about that. Maybe you also mean lonely as in like having mommy friends. Yes and no, but honestly, I work so stinking much and filming and just that I don't, where I struggle with my emotions a lot is living in Maine in the winter. You guys, it is torture for me, and I'm such a chicken. I don't want to move, and I don't think I could move. And Sydney's dad is here, my mom, and like all that, so that would be really hard for me. I do not want to live in Maine anymore at all for the winters. It's brutal. We can hardly go outside, hardly do anything. You guys sent me all kinds of suggestions on what to get Sydney for her birthday, and you're all sending me all these amazing things, and I'm like, cool, my kid won't be able to use them until May. I don't even know. I just went on a rant. Do you have a man checklist, or who is your ideal man? What kind of man are you looking for? I don't have like a checklist per se, but I do have mental notes and things that I'm looking for. Like I had said previously, I need this person to be loving, very caring, faithful, trustworthy, kind and compassionate. There's so many things. Hardworking, motivation, like motivated. Yeah, that's, but I feel like, and respectful, oh my word, respect for me is like right up there. So I don't know, maybe I should have said that is the number one thing, but nah, trustworthiness, respectful. Anyway, I have a lot of, but those are, I feel like those are qualities that everyone wants and needs and looks for, but I'm really going to be selective. This next person is going to be the person, because I'm not playing around. I'm just not playing around. I have Sydney, I have my life, and I will never again settle and be unhappy and miserable in a relationship. I will never allow that to happen to me ever again. How do you deal with negative or intrusive comments? So I really rarely, very rarely get them, and but when it does, they're usually so off the wall that it just doesn't even bother me. I just delete it and move on, like I don't even care. A couple of times if I'm like emotional or having a rough moment in life, or it's mostly when I'm going to start my period, if I get a negative comment that strikes a chord, then I, you know, get emotional. But I have several times had people message me and apologize for, or deleting their comment, because I'll like reply to them very nicely, which is hard to do. But if I was to say the first thing that comes to my mind, or say what I text my friend about it, like I'll screenshot it and I'll send my friend the message that I want to say to them, then it would just put fuel on the fire. But if I'm just nice about it, or I just delete it and move on, there it goes, it's gone. So it's gone, poof, who cares? They don't matter. Would you ever think about having more kids, either artificial insemination, adopting, or otherwise? I became a single mom by choice by adopting my son from foster care. Oh my word. You are so amazing. Aww. Honestly, as I get older, the idea of adoption is not off the table. If that is in my future, I would love to have another biological child of my own someday, God willing. If that doesn't happen and it's not God's plan, then it's not, and I'm okay with just Sydney or maybe some bonus children, but I would love to have my own biological child. Some people have actually asked me several times if I would use a sperm donor. No, if that's not God's plan, then I'm not doing it. Someone is asking when my first kiss was. Oh my word, now I have to think about it. This boy I had a major crush on for the longest time. It was my first boyfriend. We dated for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, you guys, in like the 7th grade. I don't even remember. And yeah, he was my first kiss. And then it was like one time, and I remember I went camping when we were dating. I went camping and I came back, and my friend like messaged me or called me or something back when there was no messaging. She called me on my like landline phone, and she was like, so-and-so was at the town thing with so-and-so and said that he broke up with you. He left you a voicemail and broke up with you. And I was like, what? I was so devastated. 2 weeks of saying you're a boyfriend, girlfriend. But yeah, no, that was my first kiss, I think it was. Someone is asking, are you celibate or do you do things to help your needs as far as that goes? 2 years, you guys. It has been 2 years. I can't even believe I'm saying this on YouTube. So yeah, I'm pretty much like a virgin again. So there's that. And are you dating? So many people are asking about dating as a single mom, and how are you gonna go about that? So yeah, I feel it in my bones that it's gonna happen this year, whether I meet someone or we start an actual relationship or I just start dating in general. Finally back to who finding out who I am, and I'm finally back to me and taking care of myself. What is Sydney's relationship like with her father? Does she ask to see him and wonder why he isn't living with her? I think a bunch of people asked about that routine, and is there a schedule? It might not make sense to you because you just don't know, but I don't know, it's so hard to explain without just telling you everything. But I'm not going, I don't even know. It's just, I know it may not make sense, and that's okay. What I'm saying is she doesn't see him very often. She knows it's her daddy. Do I think that there's an authority figure there, or more or less a playmate or an adult, like a normal adult? Yeah, I don't know. It's mostly a play date. It's like a playmate, you know what I mean? Like, he gets to come over and be fun and happy and play, and just, I have to be the authoritative one. So yay for me. No wonder why she doesn't listen to me, that I'm the only person who ever says no. No, she loves him, and that's her daddy, and that will always be her idol. And ever since I started working for myself, ever since I quit my other job, which we're coming up on a year, I think in March, April, something like that, which is crazy, mind-blowing. Anyway, ever since I stopped going to work outside of my home, then that time with her dad has been completely diminished, because he used to watch her while I was at work, and now that doesn't happen, obviously. So maybe on Sundays sometimes, but not all the time, and it's not scheduled or anything like that. So, but there's FaceTime often. We're just taking it moment by moment is what I'm saying. So there is that. It's hard because I know you guys don't know. you know what I mean? If you're not in the situation or in my life, like seeing or knowing, then you don't know, and that's completely fine. I just can't share some things. Is Sydney being okay around other kids? Is she shy at all? Do you plan to take her, putting her in pre-K at an early age? Sydney will be in pre-K. She'll be like 4.5. And that's just how the system works here. I'm not gonna pay to put her in a pre-K otherwise. It's expensive, and it's just not, I'm gonna soak up this next year and a half that I have with her not being in school. It's only, oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry, only another year and a half. Anyway, would it be a lot easier? 1000%, because I would be able to work my butt off when she is in pre-K or school, or go to the gym and meet a man at the gym. That's where I always met my boyfriends, back at the gym. My boyfriends, I've dated like 4 people in my life. 3 major relationships, and then like 4, so maybe I've dated 4 people in my entire life. And then a few people asked, do you plan on getting Sydney into some activities? I definitely plan still on getting her into like gymnastics or dance class. I was going to back before Christmas, and then we got a cold right before Christmas, and then Christmas happened, and then it's just been a whirlwind, and now everyone's got the plague, like the norovirus, the flu, like all these things, and I'm just like, oh my word, my anxiety of having her get the flu is just keeping me from putting her in these classes and places just for right now. Like maybe in a month or so, when it dies down and it's not so crazy, then fine. And I know exposing her to germs is good for her immune system. I know all of that stuff, but I just can't put myself in that position where I know it's going around so bad right now where we live. So I'm just gonna like, okay, maybe we'll just do it in another month type of a thing, or swim classes. But yeah, 100% planning on doing some type of class for her, organized class. It's going to be really good for her to do something different and play with other kids. She's really good with other kids. As far as, is she shy? Not at all. Sharing is a little bit iffy, but I mean, I know that's normal with all kids. This is, what are some must-dos for yourself as a single mom that don't make you feel guilty? I have a hard time spending money on myself because I'm constantly thinking of things I can buy my kids. Please help. You're not alone. I do the same thing and did the same thing. It took a lot of practice to take care of myself, to give myself bubble baths. I just started doing my nails again, and that's just a financial thing. Like, in time, I have to take Sydney with me, and it takes a couple of hours, and I feel guilty. But then I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I just got her donuts, and she's watching her iPad, which she never gets to watch. iPad, whatever, her little tablet that she never watches. So it's like a treat for her, and it's fun, and I feel so good. Yeah, it's just come with time. And once you do it and it makes you feel so good, it's worth it. It's 100% worth it. My child has an entire room of toys dedicated to just her in this house. And she gets every, I mean, she has more clothes than I can even, like, she doesn't need or want for anything, or, you know, and I'm with her all the time, and I give her that attention. So yeah, it's just, you are a priority. And once you get that in your head, that you should not feel guilty for taking care of yourself and doing something fun for yourself, or pampering, or whatever it may be, even if you're spending money, like obviously don't spend out of your means, but if you're spending money on yourself and you can do it and afford it, don't feel guilty. You deserve it. Do not feel guilty for it. Obviously, if you're not giving your child any attention whatsoever and you're only taking care of yourself, that's a whole nother story. But I know that's not you. That's just my little take. Asking, how did you find out you were pregnant with your daughter? And I think I've mentioned this in the first ever video that I posted on this channel, was how I knew I was pregnant, and that one has over 1 million views. That's like the very first video I posted and the most viewed video that I have posted, which is crazy. But how did I find out I was pregnant? So we were trying, I was on birth control forever. I don't even know how many years, since high school or since college. So I was on birth control forever, and then we had the discussion there. I just felt like if I didn't, I was in the point of my life where I felt like if I didn't have a child now, I was never gonna have a child. My relationship wasn't great. We had been through so many ups and downs, but then when we were on really good times. We were in a good part of our relationship, a good time, and things were going well, and it was discussed, and we were both came to agreement, and I was like, I'm ready, I'm emotionally ready. So anyway, so I came off birth control and instantly got pregnant with Sydney. But yeah, it just was one of those like perfect, God wanted Sydney to be, Sydney to come into my life. Like, I don't even know. Anyway, so I went to work, and I remember someone was saying, oh, if you want to get pregnant, you have to, you know, do it at this many days post-ovulation. I'm like, oh my word, what? I guess. But, and then I like downloaded this fertility app, and I was like, so this is the day. Oh my word, I was ovulating that day. And I just looked at my coworker, and she was like, oh, you never know. And thought nothing of it. And then a few days later, I felt so bloated and gassy and crampy. And I was like, I had to unbutton my work pants, and I walked downstairs, and I told him, I'm like, oh my word, my stomach hurts, like wicked gas crampy. And I said, what if I'm pregnant? And we both chuckled, and then I left. And then it was like a week later, and I was still feeling that gurgling, like bubbly gas feeling. And my coworkers, I was telling my coworkers, and I'm like, I feel like I am, like I know I am. And I came home. I had taken a pregnancy test a few days earlier, and it was too early. It said no, but I didn't, even when it said no, I'm like, no, like I am, I just know I'm too early. Anyway, so we were talking at midnight. We were closing the restaurant, and I was like, I know I'm pregnant. So my coworker said, in the morning, get that fresh morning pee and take your pregnancy test then. And I hadn't even missed my period yet. So I came home that night, and I'm so impatient. If you know me, then you know I am so impatient that I was like, I can't wait. So I took my pregnancy test at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, and it showed up positive, like instantly. And my just first reaction was, I knew it, I was pregnant. So, but I had been Googling like pregnancy symptoms, and there wasn't hardly anything out there, but I just knew that I was. So anyway, I found out a few days before my missed period. I don't even remember. I'll have to like go back and watch that video. But yeah, I totally knew I was pregnant the whole time. Basically, it was so bizarre, and I know you guys are gonna think I'm psycho, and I'm sure maybe some of you thought this too. It was like the moment that like afterwards, whatever, I felt like gassy, bubbling, burbling, and I was ovulating right then, and I had no idea that that was what I was feeling. Now I do after the fact, because now I know, oh, that's ovulation. You can kind of like feel it in your belly. Well, at least I can. I'm very in tune with my body. I thought as soon as, you know, I went to bed that night, I'm like, yeah, I'm pregnant, or I'm gonna be pregnant. Like, I thought that it happened right then and there because I felt it in my belly, but what I was actually feeling was ovulation. So we actually, just everything kind of like timed out perfectly without even strategically making it, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. Anyway, I knew I was pregnant from the moment we kissed goodnight. Let's just put it that way. Is that TMI? I don't even know. I've been talking for way longer than I planned on it, so who knows what I've whittled this video down to. I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A and got to know me a little bit better. And yeah, again, give it a thumbs up if you enjoy videos like these. And I'll talk to you probably on Monday's video. Look forward to, I think I'm gonna have a morning routine video coming very soon, maybe this week, next week I mean. Yeah, so I'll talk to you guys then. Bye.